call the Iberia Parish Council meeting to order for July 14, 2021. The time is 6:01. The prayer will be led by President Reshort and the pledge by Councilwoman Broussard. Madam Clerk? I'm sorry, Mr. Reshort?
Yes, join in please saying the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
Allegiance to the
Flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, initiate the roll call.
Councilman Collins,
Here.
Michael Landry,
Here.
Lloyd Brown,
Here.
Warren Gottlieb,
Here.
Natalie Broussard,
Here.
Paul Landry,
Here.
James Trahan,
Here.
Scott Rossiter,
Here.
Eugene Olivier,
Here.
Brian Napier,
Here.
Lady Fontaine Brown, here, Marty Trahan,
Here.
Ted Hotchkiss.
Here. We have 14 members in the quorum. Moving on, I'm sorry, 13 members in the quorum. Public comments. Need a motion to go into public comments? Have a motion by Councilman Tommy Pollard and a second by Councilwoman Broussard. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call members. Those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, hearing no opposition, the ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously. We're now in public comments. Number one, Madam Clerk.
Comments from the general public on non-agenda
We
items.
did not receive any requests. Number two, Madam Clerk.
Comments from the general public on agenda items.
We do have two comments, Madam Clerk. We have, the Mayor Pro Tem for the City of New Iberia to address agenda item 15, in which he's for. Mayor Pro Tem?
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm just here to answer any questions as we move this De La Salle lane change, appropriately through the parish council as well as the city council. Of course, the city council approved it, and we're waiting on the parish council, and the signs are up, and we're just waiting on approval to get we already talked to DOTD to get the turning lanes set up. If everything goes through the parish council, we're ready to roll. I think it's going to be a great asset for the school and the 350 families that attended. But if there's any questions, be glad to entertain it.
Members, are there any questions for the Mayor Pro Tem? Councilmember Pollard is recognized.
Yes, Rick, I know that y'all did, y'all passing and all. My concern is you're a sugarcane farmer. Mr. Broussard pulls out about 12 to 15 acres of sugarcane out of that field. I hope y'all can get with him where he's not pulling out at 7 o'clock in the morning, putting all that mud, causing an accident on a one-way street. So, I mean,
Oh, that was addressed, Tommy. We are fully aware of the concern, but sometimes when you address projects of this nature, you got to look for the greater common good. And so, but we're going to make sure we work with Mr. Broussard to get those actions appropriately done. But just think about it right now. What is he doing now? You have a two-lane street. He's taking a left-hand turn on De La Salle, a left-hand turn on 14 with no traffic light. Now he comes out, takes a right-hand turn into the flow of traffic, which is much safer, gets to Amador, takes a right-hand turn into the flow of traffic, so he's not turning against the traffic. So 9 out of 10 times, it's much safer on Mr. Broussard the way we're doing it currently than what he's doing currently now.
well, that's fine. Also, you have to realize and take in consideration the month of October, November, nothing but mud pulling out the field, and these parents gonna get there last minute trying to rush.
So, according to the league, American Sugarcane League standards, that a farmer must maintain a clean road when he's using appropriate public roads. So Mr. Broussard is required to clean the road if he drops any mud on the road. So he is required to do that, and hopefully he abides by those rules and statutes.
Thanks, sir.
All right.
Councilman Pollard reserves. Anyone else, members? Any other questions for the Mayor Pro Tem? Hearing none. Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, you finished?
I am. Thank you.
Thank you for being here, sir. Next is Mr. Marcus Broussard to address item agenda 113. Mr. Broussard, if you can address your name and your address for the record.
Yeah, thanks for having me here. Good evening to everyone here. Marcus Broussard, live on 713 Mallard Cove, I'm one of the 4 appointees, potential appointees that y'all going to be speaking with this evening. So I want to start out by saying, talk a little bit about myself. I'm a bit of an independent thinker. As an outsider, I feel like I'm free of some of the old politics of the past. I'm a family man. My wife's Janae's sitting right here on the side of me, very supportive, always has been. 2 young boys, MJ, a bit of a firecracker, and Wesley, complete opposite, really calm kid, kind young man. I choose Iberia Parish because it is the best place to raise my family, and I really feel like we need to address some things as we go forward as a council, as a parish into the future, coming together to make Iberia Parish certainly what it's capable of being, right? With that being said, I will be removing my name as a candidate this evening for the appointment. I've been working on a couple of special things that I'd like to see through that brings some quality to Iberia Parish as a citizen, right? Nothing probably, but so I want to, take that time to get those things across, and then prepare my campaign for when I do run in the March special election. So I want to take the time to begin that campaign to earn those people's trust that this parish sorely needs. So you will be seeing me quite frequently. I really hope to get to know each of you, the whole council, as well as the potential appointees. Learn your passions, learn your motivations. We can grab a burger, beer, I'll buy, and go, whatever it takes to get you to come speak with me. So just thank you for serving the parish. Thank you for giving me this time, and we'll talk more soon. So,
Thank you for being here,
thank
Mr.
you.
Broussard.
Thanks for the time.
Are there anyone in the audience that hasn't had a chance to fill out a comment card that would like to do so now? Hearing none, members, I'd like to go back into regular session. I need a motion. Motion by Councilwoman Broussard, second by Councilman Napier. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, members. Those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, hear no opposition. The ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously. Moving on to reports from finance and administrative actions. Number 1, Madam Clerk.
Balance sheet for May 2021.
They were on request, and I believe you got them by email. Number 2,
Budget report for May 2021.
same thing again, members. Moving on to reports from parish or other governmental agencies. Number 1,
Building report for the month of June 2021.
should have been in your packet. Moving on to public works reports.
Public Works Department report for closed work orders dated June 9 through 22, 2021.
Those should have been emailed to you, members. Moving on to special business, Madam Clerk.
Executive session pursuant to Louisiana Revised Statute 4217A1 and 10 to interview applicants for persons interested in being appointed to the position of District 3 of the Iberia Parish Council. I have no recommendation.
Members, I would ask tonight that we do conduct the business of the parish first, at a request of you, without opposition, that we continue and then come back and determine whether or not, which suits us best, how we decide the process tonight. Is there any objection to that? Hearing none. Moving on to council member announcements. Members, Mr. Rawson is recognized.
I'd just like to let everybody in the parish know that on July 24th at 8 a.m. in Laurelville, the Laurelville Community Project, along with Acadian Ambulance, is going to have a free bystander CPR training. If anybody's ever had to use CPR, it can actually save somebody's life. I mean, it might be somebody you know, it might be somebody, a kid, Marty. Hey, Marty, I was in the same boat, so, anybody can make it. It's free. Food will be provided by the R3 Foundation, which is another local group in Laurelville. So, free food, free training, you might save somebody's life. You can't beat it. Thank you.
Councilman Rawson, reserves. Councilman Paul is recognized.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Tomorrow is the ribbon cutting for Robert B. Green Building at 1:30 p.m. So if you have a chance to come on out and see the ribbon cutting for this long journey that we had. Thank you, sir.
Councilman Pollitt yields back. Anyone else, members? Councilwoman Broussard is recognized.
Yeah, I just want to announce that this Saturday, July 17th, CERT, or the Community Emergency Response Team, is going to be having a training starting at 9 a.m. at Willowwood. You can go to our Facebook page, and there's a registration link for you to register if you're interested in going. or you can get in touch with any of the CERT members.
Councilwoman Broussard gives back. Any other members? Councilwoman Broussard, Councilwoman Brown, recognized.
Yes, I would just like to congratulate, the state of Louisiana on 2 victories that we had last week. One was, the young lady from Harvey that won the spelling bee, Miss, Avant Gaudet. And then also our, neighbor right down the street, Dustin, who won the UFC fight. So I just wanted to say great job, Louisiana, and, keep up the victories.
Councilwoman Brown gives back. Anyone else? Hearing none, parish president's announcements.
I'm going to be very brief tonight.
Mr. Rishaw.
Starting off with the parish president, reports public works completions over the last 2 weeks. We did some catch basin work in District 5, culvert cleaning in District 3, District 9, 10, and 11, culvert inspections in District 10 and 11, debris pickup in District 5, 9, 10, 12, 13, and 14. We had some down trees that we had to get up in District 9, field drainage work in District 3, roadside drainage work in District 5, District 9, 13, and 14. We did some road grading in District 13 and 14. Some limestone work in District 9, District 8, District 13. Road patching work in District 2, 3, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. It's always going to be a lot of patching because the roads that we have in Iberia Parish is not getting any better. So, as you know, until we do something and come up with some funding, we're going to have a lot of this going on. Road repair work was done in District 6, District 8, District 10, and 13. Field ditches side boom work was done in District 13. Signage work was done in District 2, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Shoulder work was done in District 2 and District 10. With the litter abatement program that we have, we went out this past weekend to Generette, Pellerane Street. We picked up 65 bags of trash plus on that one street. So we got a lot of stuff going on. In fact, today I met with Councilmember Eugene Olivier with the sheriff, and we're trying to come up with a plan on what we're going to do with litter, some of the things we're going to do moving forward with litter. And I want to touch a little bit on what Tommy just said. Tomorrow, the Robert B. Green ribbon cutting is going to take place at 1:30. And this is something you guys know that we've been working on since, well, I got here in 2016. This was being done in 2015 when I got here, when many of us got here. And this is something that I'm extremely glad to see completed. We still have a few things at Robert B. Green that we would like to get done, or going to have to get done, but certainly glad to see it completed. An update, a very brief update on the Sugarcane Festival building. Maintenance department has been working with Paul, who is with American Air, in an attempt to try to find out this water intrusion that we have in the basement. So far, Paul had found a major part of it. A lot of it have to do with the HVAC system. First of all, we have to think about, we have a basement in New Iberia, in Louisiana. So I don't know who dreamed this one up when they built it, but our water table don't serve us well for a basement here in Iberia Parish. But to make a long story short, and I know we have a lot going on tonight, so I won't get into all of the detail of what's going on at the Sugarcane Festival building. But we're on the way getting things done over there. We've got a great contractor, in my opinion, that's getting things done. We also located a main discharge flow line that seemed to be restricted. So we have the sewer district getting a small snake camera to run through it to find out what's going on exactly with that line. So that's a big deal for us over there. Look, I'm going to stop because you guys know I can just talk and rattle forever. But what I want to do, whenever you got something, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, before you go any further, are there any questions about Public Works for the parish president? Hearing none.
I'm going to call up Dax right now to give a report on some resolutions that you guys asked me to give a report on several weeks back. And in this report is going to include some of the information in the coastal area that we definitely want to get a good little report on. Park Purdue, A and B, and where we stand with that project. Go ahead, Dax. Sorry.
Okay, good evening, Council. So to make it quick, so I'm going to run through this, stop me if you have any particular questions. I wanted to give you a couple of updates on where we are. Resolution number 2021-95, and you see it up here on the screen, but basically it was given the parish president, or y'all gave the parish president authority to look at hiring an engineering firm to look at drainage improvements, Hazard Road, Armico Road, O'Donnell Road, and also looking at diverting overflow water from the west side of the parish towards Spanish Lake. Met with Larry last week, and Larry awarded this project to our firm, C.H. Fencermaker Associates. We will begin estimating a scope of the work, trying to better understand it. So I'm going to want to meet with a couple of individuals on that to find out what concerns. I'm just catching it for the first time, but especially the second one, that's a big item. Trying to get water to Spanish Lake from the west side of the parish. But nevertheless, so we'll start on that. We'll start looking at that. But I'll definitely want to talk more about it. That's that. The next one is just an update on where we are with several drainage projects in the parish, to include Bayou Park Purdue, as Larry said, Norris Branch, Devon Cooley, et cetera. So I'll get right into it. Back in 2017, we had started a project to look at prioritizing which channels would or should be cleaned first, second, third, fourth, apply some kind of prioritization system. Without getting into the details, I presented to you all. We had created a numerical model that kind of predicted which channels would help the best, also getting input from Public Works in terms of the reality of the conditions of these channels. Just trying to get some objective signs and not just willy-nilly just picking channels and not knowing really what the true impacts are. Nevertheless, we came up with this priority ranking that you see on the bottom left. That was given back in 2017. When we started on that, there were several of these channels that we met with the parish, and the parish in particular decided which channels that they felt best that they could do themselves with internal forces, and we kind of determined which channels would be better to contract out, either because we don't have the right equipment or not large enough equipment, or it's too complicated to get in and get out. Let me just give a quick, when we talk about cleaning channels, we're talking about generally making sure that the channels are free of obstruction. So that's either beaver dams or fallen trees or anything that can restrict flow. What that doesn't mean is just trees growing on the banks. I mean, that's pretty much every channel in Louisiana. That doesn't mean the channel is clogged. So just keep that in mind. I don't want to give false impressions of what cleaning a channel means. We just want to make sure that the channel can flow its design storm. So nevertheless, that was back when we had presented. So here's a little update. Basically, of the channels that the parish has been working on cleaning these channels. I've been in communication with Dexter, your Public Works Director, to discuss these. But real quick, basically, these channels that you see right here, Weeks Canal, Armico, Segura Branch, Dubois, Peebles, and Commercial, and L Lateral D2. Dexter's group, has written these channels and has made decisions on where to clean. So they have done a lot of cleaning, whether it was removal of trees. They've come across some just water dams, for lack of better words. Just as a point of reference, when you look at comparing it to the cost of construction, Larry wanted me to just value this out. It's probably worth about $300,000 of value in lieu of contracting out. So there has been a lot of progress made on those particular channels. As far as the channels that we decided, so that's just a little map of all the channels. Everything in yellow is what the parish did themselves over the last 2 years, roughly. And I will tell you, Dexter continues to look at cleaning more. So he continuously has that in front of him. As far as the channels to be contracted out, let me just tell you about Bayou Park Purdue. Bayou Park Purdue was one of those channels that was slated to be cleaned, contracted out, but that has been pulled out because Bayou Park Purdue is part of a larger network, which, if you don't know, Bayou Park Purdue starts in Youngsville. It actually goes through 3 parishes and dumps into Lake Lanier. Bayou Park Purdue is part of a bigger project. Unfortunately, the good news is the parish was awarded $5.3 million to look at 2 large detention ponds, 2 20-acre ponds on Bayou Park Purdue in Iberia Parish. The better news is that the city of Youngsville also got another $3 million to put 2 detention ponds. So in total, 4 ponds on Bayou Park Purdue. High level, you're looking at lowering the water levels in a 100-year storm by about 2 feet. Okay. The point is, that's the good news. The bad news is it's all FEMA money. And so, unfortunately, I'm here to tell you tonight, and I'll show you in a slide a little bit later. We submitted everything to FEMA about a year ago, and we just got the approval literally about 3 weeks ago. And I'll show you the letter as proof. So you don't have to believe me, you can just look at the letter. I will tell you, it's frustrating. Good news is you got the project. The bad news is you got the project. So that's just the way it is. So we stuck with that. But I will tell you, we have everything ready to start producing plans and to start property acquisition for these ponds. So Delahousie Canal, I'll give a little update on that. Delahousie Canal, DeBlanc Coulee, Petitons, Norris Branch. And again, I'm rushing, so I'm just trying to keep track of your time. What I want to show right here is that you guys had contracted out with Fensomaker to look at producing plans to do these projects. We did that. Plans was submitted. I don't want to get into it. I could click a link right there and show you all the plans, but that's going to bore you. Y'all got other bits to take care of. But the point is that final construction plans, bid documents, and all of that has already been submitted to the parish, ready to bid the job out. So it's a cost of about $600,000, $7,000 to clean those channels. We're talking about Segura, DeBlanc, Delahousie. So that's just a function of when the parish has the money and is ready to go out for bid. So that ball's really going to be on y'all court. Real quick, again, this is my, I hate to say it, my proof. This is the FEMA letter we just got. Actually, it was in May. But what you don't know is that we got to have a kickoff meeting, which we're trying to coordinate with FEMA. It's a bunch of stuff. It's FEMA, then it goes to GOSEP. It's all this part. It's part of this $25 million money that the governor appointed after the 2016 storm. So again, we're talking about Bayou Park Purdue, 2 large detention ponds. So hopefully we'll get some momentum from FEMA to let us finish these plans and bid this job out. Okay. Last but not least, just again, like I said, we submitted plans to the parish. Again, we're just on a holding pattern until the parish has the money to work on that, and so I'm sure Larry can comment on that. And we're just ready to work on Bayou Park Purdue. That's it, unless there's any other questions.
Members, are there questions for Mr. Dagger?
Back up one slide.
Nope. Sorry about that. Gotcha.
So we looking at the acquisitions of the properties around May of '22 and permitting and stuff like that?
Yeah, FEMA put that in their letter. We gotta discuss it. The intent, the next step is that they wanna have a meeting with us to discuss their rules and how to proceed. They pay for some things, they don't pay for other things in terms of property acquisition and things like that. So the point is, I personally don't wanna be waiting that long. I told Larry to be quite candid. We need to start talking. We have an idea where we like these 2 ponds at, okay? And I will tell you, it's predominantly in cane fields, okay? So that we don't really disrupt any residents, so we don't want to build a pond and have to build and buy houses. That's not practical, right? So I want to be careful how we, that needs to be coordinated, and then of course put in the parish's hands to go talk to the property owners and see if we can work some arrangements out to start locking in property. Again, like I said, I'm looking at 2 20-acre ponds.
Yeah, well, like we said, this discussion started in 17.
Oh, yeah.
And we're looking at finishing the permits and everything by 22. So realistically, when do you think that the project would actually start?
Good news is, Chad, we got the project. The bad news is,
We got the project.
got the
Next
project.
election's in 24, Clay.
I will tell you, I'm not going to predict it, Chad, because I'd be shooting myself in my foot. So,
Mr. Marshall, are you finished?
Yeah, I'm good.
President Richard?
Yes. This is the same letter that I showed you guys maybe a month ago when we received the letter from FEMA. And from the, can you hear me? This is the same letter that I showed you guys, I don't know, a month and a half ago, whenever we received it from FEMA. And a letter that we got from the contractor or the engineering company that we have working for us. It's a blessing that, first of all, we have the $5.3 million to get this project done. The problem is, we submitted everything to FEMA probably 11 months ago.
About 11 months ago.
And it took 11 months roughly to get that response back from FEMA. And I think when I spoke to y'all that night, I said, we have the letter, but that's not telling us anything as far as when we're gonna be able to get this project started. It's a critical project that we need in Iberia Parish. It serves a lot. It's gonna do a lot. When the money first came down, it was $5 million that it came down for Youngsville. And ours was 5.3.
Youngsville just got approved, by the way. They were even longer enough.
And they, from the beginning, they were shovel ready.
Yeah, they already had their design already.
All their
way
design
before
was
this
ready,
was.
and it's going from 18 to 21. So I guess what I'm trying to do is put this in perspective, what we got, so let's not be.
Yeah, let me make a point. There has been a lot of work done. Our firm has, in order to get to this phase, they
Right.
proved the project would work. So we created this large numerical model of the whole Bayou Park Purdue watershed to see the limits of flooding potentially during a 100-year storm. Then we actually put the ponds in, and we actually saw a large reduction in that footprint. And so you have to prove to FEMA that your benefit outweighs your cost. So our cost is $5.3 million. So you got to prove to FEMA that you have more than $5.3 million of benefits. So you got to show how many houses could be affected should this. So we did all of that, and it was, you know, I'll be honest with you, we did all this work and we haven't got paid a penny for it by FEMA. FEMA's paying all this. So it's what you have to do just to get to this point. So there's just a lot of work that's been done, but it ain't moving dirt. So sorry.
Okay, whenever the council finishes that, I want to talk about, good money.
So go be sure, you finished?
Go ahead.
No, whenever you finish that, I want to talk about the other projects that we received from Fenstermaker a couple of years back. I guess, you know, now we have the American Rescue Funds, which means that we do have some funds that we possibly could use. I'm pretty sure that we could use if we want to outsource some of the work in that particular area. I'm pretty sure that we're going to be able to use some of those funds to do that. So we only, you know how much money we have in our drainage fund as far as that goes. So to say spend $600,000 out of $1 million to do this here, to do the cleaning that we need done, it's a pretty tough decision for you, and I get that. But now I think the decision's going to be a bit easier because we just got deposited into the bank maybe a couple of weeks ago, $6-point-something million. I'm not exactly sure how much of that we're going to have once we do the calculations from the administration and everything else that need to be paid up front. But we will have some dollars. And I think this might be a good time for us to start working those particular areas, personally.
Councilman Trahan?
Dax, when y'all get to the lake, what's gonna happen when y'all get to the mouth of the lake at these channels?
Yeah, the concept when we originally looked at it, right, we actually surveyed it. When Bayou Park Purdue enters the lake, there's actually about 6 to 8 inches of water. It's completely silted up. Now, it's a touchy topic, and so what's happening, the way we're structuring this grant, we're not calling it dredging. That's a bad word in Lake Panier. You know the history of it? We're calling it a different name, and so just, if we're just playing the game, right?
Right.
So, but we are intending to, as part of this project, to clean that silt plug right at that area, not getting in the lake, if
Okay.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That turns into a whole other issue with the Corps of Engineers for obvious reasons.
Okay, that's what I want to.
Yeah, but there's a silt plug there that, again, it's about 6 to 8 inches of water, depending on the tide.
I'll follow now.
Yeah.
Councilman Trahan, are you finished?
I'll finish, sir.
Councilman Trahan, reserves, anyone else? Dak, you want to close? Is that it?
That's it.
I'm good. Thank you, Alex. Appreciate you.
Is there any more of your discussions, Larry?
That's
You
it.
done?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, any other questions for the parish president? Hearing none, members, moving on to consent agenda items for public hearing and adoption. Madam Clerk?
Minutes, regular meeting of June 23rd, 2021. Summary number 8, introduced by Paul Landry, District 7. A resolution approving the Delta Biofuel LLC project soda application number 2021-0262-ITE for participation in the Louisiana Industrial Tax Exemption Program at or near Patchouville Road, northeast of M.A. Patchoux Enterprise Sugar Mill, 29 degrees 55 feet 33.3 inches north, 91 degrees 43 feet 16.9 inches west, Jeanerette, Louisiana 70544. Summary number 110, a resolution granting the authority to the parish president to sign and submit all necessary documents along with adopting certain policies, plans, and procedures in connection with the fiscal year 2021 Community Development Block Grant Program for a sewer system improvements project in the amount of $209,600. Summary number 111, a resolution amending the 2021 royalty fund budget in the amount of $443,950 to appropriate existing ROMESA funding for the following: water control structures. 1, Little Valley Bayou, $264,250. 2, George Lawsaw, $89,850. And 3, Rettenville Road, $89,850. Summary number 112, A resolution congratulating Ms. Morgan Lola Romero on her achievement in representing Team USA in the track and field pole vault event at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020, to be held July 23rd through August 8th, 2021.
Do I have a motion, members? I have a motion by Councilman Michael Landry, second by Councilman Paul Landry. Councilman Michael Landry?
Waive.
Councilman Paul Landry?
I'd like to pull out summary number 80.
Could we have a request to remove summary number 80 from the consent agenda item? Councilman Trahan?
Yeah, I'd like to remove summary number 111.
Councilman Trahan, Marty Trahan is requesting to remove summary number 111. Is there any other requests? Hearing none, I'll ask that we have a roll call. Is it okay with Mr. Landry, both Landrys? Okay. We have a roll call on adopting everything but summary number 80 and 111. Is there any discussion? Roll call, members. Those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing no opposition, the ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously. Moving on to summary number 80. Do I have a motion? Motion by Councilman Landry, Paul Landry, and second by Councilman Marty Trahan. Councilman Landry?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to know if you can find enough that we can ask Mr. Mike Tarantino to get up to the podium and possibly bring two of his friends with him.
Is there any objection, members? Hearing none? State your name for the record.
Mike Tarantino, Iberia Industrial Development Foundation. Good evening to the Parish Council and to the administration. It's certainly my pleasure here tonight to bring before you the good folks from Delta Biofuels LLC who are here and who have shown a lot of interest in this community. I've had the opportunity and the pleasure to meet with them and to talk with them extensively, and I think they'll be a great addition to our community. So we're working our way through the process, and now we're here in front of you now. But I would love it if you gentlemen would like to introduce yourselves to our council.
I'm Phil Keating, CEO of Delta Biofuel. We've been working on this project for quite a while, and finally at the point where we're working to get started, and excited for your support.
Thank you.
I'm Anders Borg, and I'm Vice President of Engineering for the company, doing the project.
Thank y'all for taking a chance in O'Bear Parish. Absolutely.
Councilman Landry, you still have the floor, sir. Councilman Landry yields back. I think I had a second by Councilman Trahan. Councilman Trahan waves. Any discussion, members? Mr. Parish President Reshore?
Oh, I just wanted to tell you guys, thank you so much. I don't know who just mentioned it, one of the council members, but considering Iberia Parish, we certainly want to work with you if this works out, and I hope it works out. We're looking forward to the number of employees that you're looking to hire. We're certainly looking forward to the salaries that you're planning on paying the employees. And we're totally looking forward to the millions and millions of dollars that you're looking to invest in capital projects. It's a big deal for Iberia Parish, and we just hope that it works.
Good. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Richard. Anyone else on discussion? Hearing none?
Move for unanimous second.
There is a motion on the floor for unanimous second by Councilwoman Broussard. I'm sorry, we do have a request by Councilwoman Brown.
I just like to introduce myself. I represent District 12, and you guys' project would actually be in my district, and I just want to let you guys know that I've talked to a lot of the constituents in that area, and they're very excited about it, and it would actually be a great benefit to the city of Denerit and actually the east side of the parish. So we welcome you. We hope everything goes well, and if I could be of any assistance, please reach out. Thank you very much.
Councilwoman Brown, yields back. Anyone else? I have a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Broussard for unanimous second. Is there any objection to it?
Roll with it.
Hearing none. Roll call, members. All those in favor will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Hearing no opposition, the unanimous second passes.
Thank you.
Moving on to summary number 111, introduced by the parish president. Madam Clerk.
Resolution amending the 2021 royalty fund budget in the amount of $443,950 to appropriate existing OMESA funding for the following water control structures. 1, Little Valley Bayou, $264,250. 2, George Lawsaw, $89,850. And 3, Bretton Real Road, $89,850.
Do I have a motion?
Move.
Have a motion by Councilman Marty Trahone.
Second.
Second by Councilman Paul Landry. Councilman Trahone?
Yes, I'd like to get a little bit more update, if you could update the council on these projects.
I certainly can. I
President
can do that.
Russo?
Want me to do it at the next meeting? Do a real update for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, no problem.
Okay,
I can certainly give you an update at the next meeting.
I'd like to make a motion to table.
Okay.
I'll hold that motion to table while I have a second by
table?
Councilman Paul Landry.
No, to next meeting.
Oh, okay. Right, okay. You just want an update. You just want an update, and I want to make sure that,
Well,
Wait,
we don't want to.
okay.
I'm gonna do only what I'm saying. Okay.
Hold on one second. Councilman Landry, you had the second?
Yeah, I don't agree with the table in it. We need to
Yeah.
pass this and let it go, and then the administration will come by and show it to us next time.
So, again, it's just discussion. You had the second. He's waiving discussion. Is there any other discussion from any of the members? I do have a question for the parish president.
yes, sir.
Is this part of the master plan?
That's exactly what I was getting ready to tell you. Thank you for asking that question. We are truly trying to follow the master plan that CPRA have. This is part of what we're doing with CPRA. As you know, they just gave us, we just got approved $5 million from CPRA. Next year, we're looking to get $10 million by doing exactly what Warren just mentioned, trying to follow the master plan. I'll be more than happy to get CPRA. I'll get anyone here, but I can get Royal over here at the next meeting if they're available. And if not that one, maybe the meeting after that, but very, very soon to give you an update on what it is that we're trying to do. We need this simply because it have to be squared away for October for when they go back with their annual budget, CPA's annual budget. So they have to see that we're doing this here so we can try to get that money next year to be part of the fundings that's coming to Iberia Parish.
Let me ask you, is this part of CPRA funding? We will have any matching money with
CPRA, yeah, as you know, CPRA just gave us $5 million, and what we're trying to do is get this squared away so we can get, we're actually going for $10 million next year. So that's why we want to have what's called project ready, ready projects,
Okay.
shovel-ready projects.
I do have a question. So we're not going to use the CPRA dollars. We're going to go and use the GOMESA dollars with the
We're gonna-
intention to take that money
Yeah.
somewhere else, the
If
5 million?
if we can get it to where we getting money from CPRA and we're still receiving the GOMESA dollars every year,
Okay.
then you're gonna have more GOMESA dollars that you can do other projects with in Iberia Parish. We need to try to get some money, some real dollars ahead of us. So for example, I think I know where Warren going with this here. Say for example, because we only have like 7 or 8 projects that we're gonna be able to do in Iberia Parish, that is what we call Iberia Parish water projects, where we're not getting water that's coming in from other parishes that are affecting us. What we're trying to do is control the water here from the Gulf of Mexico that's hurting the people in Coto and Patterville and Avery Island, the coastal area. So these structures here is gonna take care of that. But we're gonna get to.
This is mostly on the Lydia area, correct? South of Lydia.
Yes,
is that
just
correct?
this one, these are.
Weeks Island Road,
Yeah,
kind of off of that.
But what I'm
area.
saying is that when we're following the CPRA master plan, what we're trying to do now is put some protection to where we can protect ourselves a little bit from water that's coming into Iberia Parish from the Gulf of Mexico per se. These waters are not coming from like St. Landry Parish, St. Martin Parish, and Lafayette Parish. So we're protecting ourselves with structures. So this is what this is all about. At some point in time, we're going to finish that. And then we're going to be trying to follow the CPRA master plan. But when you start getting into these gates and locks and stuff, it's going to be well out of our range. You know, you're not going to be talking no $2 million, $3 million projects. You'll be talking $20 million and $40 million projects. But if we have followed those, the CPRA plan, then we start to get money from them. We're working right now with St. Mary Parish. We had a meeting with them last week. In fact, Ben just texted me, he's just getting out of a meeting with St. Mary Parish, what we had today. We're looking, it's a real big deal. This is a lot of money involved. I'm talking billions of dollars to do what we need to get done to protect us in this area. So this is small potatoes, but we're just trying to protect the coastal area of Iberia Parish.
I have a last question for you, Larry.
Yes, sir.
Once these control structures are completed, in the event of a storm or shortly after a storm, our public works is going to go to these structures to make sure
Absolutely.
nothing's dammed and it's
Right.
working properly to get the water out.
Right. And the way this is working, so you know, you're really working with existing channels or canals. So you have the bottom of a canal here and the top is here. What's happening in Iberia Parish with high tide, your water is always here. So you're trying to put a structure in closer to the Gulf where it's going to keep the water from coming so high, keep the water from coming in. So basically what you're doing is using your channels as a detention pond. Because instead of your water being here when the rain starts and you're only going to go from here to here and it's full and it's capped, then it's gone over, you're trying to keep that water down as low as possible so you can use the existing channel that you have as your own detention.
Good.
Did I explain that good?
Pretty good.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Are there any,
Yes.
Mr. Trump?
Ben's getting out of that meeting. Would that be happening to do with the East End project?
Are you talking
with
about?
the farmers and the
Absolutely,
fishermen?
yeah. We met with Mark Patu and the whole crew and CPRA and a whole host of people, maybe a week before last in St. Mary Parish, and then 2 days later we met over here with Vermilion Parish and St. Martin Parish and St. Landry Parish and the whole nine
I'd like
yards.
to be included in on those meetings.
Okay.
Because Marsh Island's my district in that, and
No problem.
I'm well on board with that project.
Okay.
Councilman Marty Tron reserves, Councilman Montaran is recognized.
Mr. President, has the conversation started with the commercial canal?
Yes, but what conversation you mean when you say commercial?
Any type of flood control?
Yes, we certainly looking at doing flood control. We're working some things right now through Avery Island. With the people at Avery Island, they have some concerns about a few things. So we're trying to make sure that what we're doing, we're getting the blessing from everyone before we actually bring it to the parish council.
You know, I mean, the Delcom Canal and commercial canal plays a big part in some of
Mhm.
it. Goes into the lake and what Dax was referring to with the settlement and backfilling and all that.
Exactly, big.
Good. Councilman
But you're gonna,
Montaran?
we're gonna probably run into a different dollar range from what we're
Yeah,
talking
I'm
about
big
here.
dollars.
What we're talking about,
Big dollars.
what we're talking about 2.5, 2.6, you're talking about 15, 20 or more.
But you
I'm trying to be
referred
nice when I say
You
that.
referred to shovel-ready projects. If you don't start the conversation, you
Oh,
never
absolutely,
get to that point.
absolutely.
So that's why I was just curious.
But those are gonna come, hopefully we can get some of that from the Louisiana Watershed Initiative. We're looking to try to get some of those dollars. You know, we got the gumbo, we got all kind of funds coming up, all kind of money. That's the federal
Councilman
government's
Montaran, you
putting out
finished?
there.
Yes, sir.
Councilman Montaran reserves, anyone else? Any other council members? Hearing none, roll call members, those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, hearing no opposition, the ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Moving on to ordinances introduced for public hearing and adoptions, summary number 5123, introduced by the Regional Planning Commission. Madam Clerk?
An ordinance approving the reclassification request for the property of Stacy and Kelly Dortez located at the southeast corner of the intersection of David Dubois Road and South Curtis Lane, with said parcel being zoned to C2 General Business located in District 10, subject to compliance with Planning Commission Staff Report ZC 2021-0006, all is reviewed and recommended by the Iberia Parish Regional Planning Commission.
Do I have a motion? Motion by Councilman Eugene Olivier, second. Second by Councilman Michael Landry. Councilman Olivier?
Pass.
Councilman Landry? Is Reed here? Reed, if you want to come up, please, if you wouldn't mind. I know, I couldn't see him.
So Mr. James Dartez owns a piece of property on David DeBowen Road and South Curtis Lane, so that's right near the port. It's one of the first intersections that you get to when you're leaving the port. He operated a business there from 2003 to 2013. During that time, his property got zoned residentially. I think that was incorrect. He thinks it's incorrect. He didn't know this until just a few months ago. He has someone who wants to rent the property from him to operate a car dealership, and now it's zoned residentially. I think that anything around the port should be open to commerce. I think it's an obvious decision. He does too, and so it's your decision to make.
Council members, is there any questions for Mr. Boudreaux? Thank you for being here, Reed. Appreciate all you do. Hearing no discussion, roll call members, those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, the ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously. Moving on to summary number 114, introduced by the parish president. Madam Clerk.
A resolution approving and/or prioritizing 6 properties to be considered for surplusing and disposed by parish government.
I have a motion by Councilman Paul Landry and a second by Councilman Rossonay. Councilman Landry?
Please, Wayne.
Councilman Rossonay. Councilman Rossley waves. Discussion, members. Well, I knew one of the Trons had it. Councilman Tron on discussion. I think that's a clarification. Councilman Tron?
Don't get us confused, man. Anyway, so we're only voting on these properties that's listed right here. They have others that was on the list, but we're only voting on these right here. Okay.
Councilman, is that sufficient? Councilman Trahan reserves. Any other discussion? For the record, Madam Clerk, Councilman Marty Tron is not, he just walked away. I'm sorry, Councilman Olivier. Hard to tell in the stands back there.
At the last meeting, I raised a question about whether or not the library was informed about their properties being listed as properties we're looking at disposing of. My conversation with them, that board was never notified about our intentions to actually surplus these properties out. I'm not quite sure we're following proper procedure by not notifying them about these properties. I do understand that we have 2 replacement libraries in Coteau and Lowerville that's going to be open pretty soon. I think the grand opening is going to be set probably before the end of the year. Procedural reasons, I just feel that we didn't handle this correctly. I want to make sure that I express that to everyone. I thought we should have had the library board in the loop when we're making a decision. Just like the Park and Recreation, some of these properties are listed on here. I felt that they should have been in the loop also as a board. You know, we actually appoint these boards to actually oversee these different departments and governmental agencies, and I think they should have an input when we make any decisions. I'm not going to support the resolution tonight as listed because of the fact that we didn't actually include the library or the Park and Recreation in these conversations. Thank you.
Councilman Olivier reserves. Anyone else on discussion? Councilman Landry is recognized.
I know the library doesn't advertise their meetings, which is kind of illegal, and I know the library doesn't advertise the minutes of their meeting, which is probably illegal too. But I think they get the minutes of our meeting, and I think they would be notified and they would know. And when they're going to move from Main Street to Lowerville to the back, I think they'd be happy that we handle their business. And as far as I'm concerned, that's all our property too. So I think it needs to go, and I will be supporting it.
Thank you, Councilman. You're welcome. Councilman Landry reserves. Is there anyone else on the soapbox? Hearing none. Roll call, members. Those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed?
Nay.
We have 12 in favor and 1 opposed, which is Councilman. Oh, I'm sorry, 2 of them. We have 11 in favor and 2 against. Councilman. No, 11. Yeah. It's okay. It's all right.
My math is slow tonight.
We'll work on it. 11 in favor, 2 against. That's Councilwoman Brown in opposition and Councilman Olivier in opposition. That motion carries.
Chairman, can I ask a question?
Absolutely, Mr. Sheehan.
I just want to point out that one of those 13 pieces of property is a building in Jeanerette where the rural health clinic is.
No.
I think we took it off.
Okay, I just want, but.
Seeing what you see up there, I agree.
But I just want you to also remember that I think the hospital is still.
Correct.
That's right.
That, and I think Jeanerette has been having some discussion. I just want to make sure we were still moving in that direction.
That, from what was reported out of committee, correct?
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thanks for the clarification. Summary number 115, introduced by Warren P. Goshenson, Jr., District 5. Madam Clerk.
A resolution requesting the Louisiana Department of Transportation and Development to consider the installation of a left turning lane on southbound Louisiana 14 Center Street at its intersection with De La Salle Drive in anticipation of the designation of De La Salle Drive as a one-way roadway by both the City of New Iberia and the parish.
Do I have a motion? I have a motion by Councilman Napier and a second by Councilwoman Broussard. Councilman Napier?
Wait.
Councilwoman Broussard.
Wait.
Any discussion? I agree. Hearing no discussion. Oh, Councilman Olivier is recognized.
I'm going to support this resolution, but I want to point out that I really think it's creating another problem. You're having everybody exiting on Alamodora at that intersection right there, and diverting all the traffic coming out of the school. traveling across the state and school hours when they let out. There's always a police present on the street stopping traffic pull out of these school zones all the time. You know, you drive 90 going through, you always have to catch the 3 o'clock or the 2:30 area of the school letting out. You see all those officers out there directing traffic, keeping traffic flowing. They're not closing any streets or anything like that, or they're temporarily closing the streets to do so. But I just want to make sure that we're doing the right thing, which I think the majority of you feel it is. I heard from Ricky Gonsolay as well. He said he dotted all the i's and crossed all the t's. But I am a little concerned about this resolution, but I'll go ahead and move it forward with the rest of you.
Thank you, Councilman Olivier. The councilman reserves. Anyone else? Hearing no other discussion, roll call, members. Those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing no opposition, the ayes have it, and the motion carries unanimously. Moving on to ordinances introduced for publication. I know this is going to be voted at the next meeting. I'd just like the clerk to read it in the record for publication matters. Summary number 5124, introduced by Warren P. Goshenson Jr., District 5. Madam Clerk.
An ordinance amending Chapter 16 of the compiled ordinances of Iberia Parish, Louisiana, to designate the parish's portion of De La Salle Drive as a one-way roadway in concurrence with the City of New Iberia's Resolution number 21-39, which designated the city's portion of said road as a one-way roadway.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Members, I asked tonight, are you ready to take up the appointment, or did you want to go straight to recess and go to committee to take care of matters in committee and come back?
Take up the appointment.
I have
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to get, we don't have much on the committee. I got a couple people, huh? Well, no, I mean, I got a couple people that are,
Okay, so
unless they want to sit and watch the vote. Jude?
Whatever y'all want to do.
No, it's your call.
Well, I'm going to ask the council to make the decision on what you want to do as a whole.
I'd like to go to committee,
I
but
do have a request by Ms. Broussard to take it up. I have a request by Mr. Napier to take it up. Do we want a roll call vote?
I would like to take it up.
You want to take it up and not recess?
Yeah.
Okay. Is
that's good.
sure with that? Okay. All right, members. You've spoken. We're going to go to special business here. At this time, I'll let Andy kind of explain at the choices that the council has, and then we'll make a decision.
The council has the right to proceed any way it wishes. This is council business that you may do so. I simply crafted this information to give you the most leeway in case you wanted to conduct interviews and you wanted to do it in executive session so that you can do that. You can certainly conduct those interviews in public. You can even say, do you have a statement you wish to make? That's your call. I think previously in some of the others, y'all had a few questions you asked, uniform questions you ask of everybody, and if you wanted to do that, that's certainly an appropriate way to handle this. And if you were concerned about the other persons hearing their answers and hearing what the questions is, you can simply ask them to step out while you ask those questions of each one of them. But it's your call how you want to proceed. But I mean, I'll be glad to answer any questions that you might have.
Mr. Sheila, if you could state for the record that no member of this board had any privilege to those questions. Is that correct?
Yeah, just so you know, I prepared 5 questions just to test the candidates, just some suggested questions that I sent to Brenda, so that no member of the council had them ahead of time, so that, and look, you may not even want to ask those questions. I just did it in preparation, hopefully, to be able to help you move this along. So you are correct, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Sheila. Councilman Napier, do you have a question for the legal?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So if I understand you correct, we don't have to go into executive session. We can conduct this in front of the public, in front of the camera. I mean, this is the people's seat, in my opinion, y'all. It's the people's seat. If the people that are being considered don't mind, I'd rather see it in front of everybody, in front of the camera, so that, I mean, this election's gonna be coming up in March next year, so they can, I don't know if any of them's gonna be running, but to me, we should do it in public. That's my opinion.
Good.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. I guess the question would be tonight is the process that you guys want to take. Did you want them to come up like like we usually do, to appoint a member of a board where they kind of state what they want or go through the questions that Mr. Shealy prepared. I'm listening. Mr. Brown?
Yeah, in the past, we just had them come up and we listened to what they have to say. Do you have any questions, ask them, and after that?
Mr. Brown threw out an idea. Is there any objection to Mr. Brown's idea?
No.
Hear no objection, I
Well,
guess we can do that.
Well, one more. So the questions, are we privy to the questions? Or do we have them?
Mr. Shealy does, or Ms.
Oh, okay. I don't know, I mean,
Ms. Bergeron, look, they were just some suggested questions. It's not something you need to do. If your process has simply been, let them come up and make a statement, then that's
Okay.
certainly is an appropriate method. I was just trying to cover all of our
Sure.
bases ahead
Yeah.
of time, and
Did he answer the question?
and the other,
just wondering if
the
any
other
questions
possibility,
or that-
just so
if
you
want
know,
to ask any of them.
just so you know, the other reason for may go into executive session is if you had any questions of a legal nature regarding any of the candidates, we could have discussed that in if that came up.
Okay.
So that was, again, it was just to kind of cover your base.
Okay.
You good,
I'm
Mr. Napier?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Napier
Thank you, Mr.
reserves.
Chairman.
Any other questions about the process? Okay, since no one objected to Mr. Brown's suggestion, we can start the process now. I guess we'll go by order of the agenda. And first would be Mr. John Viator. He can step up to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and let's begin.
Oh, that's John Viator.
John Viator, reside at 5809 Freetown Road, New Iberia. I was actually going to run for this position a couple years ago, and I backed out for different reasons. My intentions are to hopefully fill the spot. I know there's a lot of important things coming up and reapportionment and things like that. But as for running in March, I have no intentions of running in March. I'm resident of New Iberia for almost 58 years. Was zoned in District 14 for years and got reapportioned back, I think, in 2010. And I thought about running, just things came up that wasn't right to do. And so my goal is to fill the spot for the next 8 months and help the council go forward with important decisions that I watch the meetings and I know what's coming up in the next probably 5 or 6 months. And that's about it. If you have any questions.
Are there any questions for Mr. Viator? Councilman Trone.
Of the drainage problems you got in District 3?
Very aware. Being a sugarcane farmer for 30 years, very aware of it. Very serious.
Very serious.
Are you finished, Councilman?
Yes, sir.
Councilman Trahal reserves. Anyone else? If you want to close, Mr. Viator.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support.
Thank you for being here. Next up is Miss Madeline Dugas.
My name is Madeline Dugas, reside at 303 Halfon Street in New Iberia. I'm married to Dean Dugas and have 2 children, Paul and Elaine. I'm asking the council to consider me to fill the seat for District 3 that Brad Davis has vacated. You all do know that I ran in the previous election and had 40% of the vote. I have walked the streets and talked to the residents, even ditches I have walked in. Now, speaking of drainage, I lived it. Lost everything in Hurricane Rita. 7 feet of water in my home. Everything. So I do know about drainage. I do. And I know you can't take a 34-inch pipe on one end. Tried that with the previous parish councilman at the time, president, and put a styrofoam cup in it and found out that it flowed into a 24-inch pipe. That was collapsed. Immediately, he sent them to fix it.
So there is a lot of, drainage I do know about, and debris. Okay, so I am asking you to consider me to fill the seat for District 3. I'm a lifelong resident of Iberia Parish. I'm a member of the Louisiana Sugarcane Festival and Fair Association and an ambassador. I'm a volunteer for the Shadows on the Teche, and I'm a Farm Fest committee chair. I'm a former CNA and marketer for an assistant living community, and also a former assistant under the CEO of the Louisiana Assistant Living Association for the state. Also a notary public for Iberia Parish. So please consider me, and thank you for your time.
Are there any questions from Ms. Dugas?
I do.
Mr. Napier is
Ms.
recognized.
Dugas, do you have any intention on running in March?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Mr. Dugas reserves. Are there any other questions for Ms. Dugas? Mr. Napier reserves. Any more questions for Ms. Dugas? Ms. Dugas, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Next up is Mr. Elton Broussard.
Good afternoon. My name is Elton Broussard, and I've been a 19-year resident of District 3. When I heard about this position coming open, I submitted my application, and at the time that I submitted my application, I was the only one that said I wanted to hold the seat until the next election. Because for the 19 years I was there, I think it would be unfair for anybody to go in as an incumbent. So that's why I let it be known that I wasn't going to run for the seat. I got elected to the New Iberia City Council in 1984 and left it in 1995. I was elected to 3 terms. When I left it in 1995, I became the executive director of the New Iberia Housing Authority. In those 22 years, I put over $1.5 million operating budgets together every year. I built, along with my board, we built 50 houses off of 20 Upper Road behind New Iberia Bank. I feel that my work that I've done speaks for me. I'm 75 years old, I'm retired, I can give you all the time that you need. Any questions?
Are there any questions from Mr. Broussard, members? Hearing none, Mr. Broussard, thank you for being here, sir.
All right.
Okay, members, get your your vote pads and cast your votes. Everybody, are you through voting, members? Clerk will record the roll call.
District 1, John Viator. District 2, John Viator. District 4, John Viator. District 5, Madeline Dugas. District 6, Madeline Dugas. District 7, Madeline Dugas. District 8, Madeline Dugas. District 9, Madeline Dugas. District 10, John Viator. District 11, Madeline Dugas. District 12, John Viator. District 13, John Viator. District 14, John Viator.
We have 6 votes for Ms. Dugas and 7 votes for Mr. Viator and 0 votes for Mr. Broussard. Get your pads again, members. Are you through voting, members? Clerk will record the roll.
District 1, John Viator. District 2, John Viator. District 4, John Viator. District 5, Madeline Dugas. District 6, Madeline Dugas. District 7, Madeline Dugas. District 8, Madeline Dugas. District 9, Madeline Dugas. District 10, John Viator. District 11, Madeline Dugas. District 12, Madeline Dugas. District 13, John Viator. District 14, John Viator.
We have 7 votes for Ms. Dugas, 6 votes for Mr. Viator, and 0 votes for Mr. Broussard. Vote your pads again, members. Clerk will record the roll.
District 1, John Viator. District 2, John Viator. District 4, John Viator. District 5, Madeline Dugas. District 6, Madeline Dugas. District 7, Madeline Dugas. District 8, Madeline Dugas. District 9, Madeline Dugas. District 10, John Viator. District 11, Madeline Dugas. District 12, John Viator. District 13, John Viator. District 14, John Viator.
Seven votes for Ms. Dugas, 7 votes? Can't be 7. You can't. 6 for Ms. Dugas, 7 for Ms. Viator, Mr. Viator, and 0 for Mr. Broussard. Vote your pads again, members.
It might look like the government gonna what do you look like?
District 1, John Viator. District 2, John Viator. District 4, John Viator. District 5, Madeline Dugas. District 6, Madeline Dugas. District 7, Madeline Dugas. District 8, Madeline Dugas. District 9, Madeline Dugas. District 10, John Viator. District 11, Madeline Dugas. District 12, John Viator. District 13, John Viator. District 14, John Viator.
6 Viators for Dugas, 6. It's too early to start this, right? That should come around the 20th vote. 6 votes for Ms. Dugas, 7 votes for Mr. Viator, and 0 votes for Mr. Broussard. Members, well, after 4 votes, I'll ask that we recess to go to committee and take the business of the parish. Oh, one more? Okay, one more is asked.
Okay, one more. One more, that's it. One more and I'm gone. All right. That's it. There you go. That's right. Don't have enough. Don't have enough to finish. Hey.
No, 70 something.
Well, it ain't gonna, it ain't getting
70 something, I'll never forget that.
Yeah, Mike,
He could've.
let's just let the, Mike, let's just let the go.
Madam Clerk, record the roll.
Okay, this is round 5. District 1, John Viator. District 2, John Viator. District 3, District 4, John Viator. District 5, Madeline Dugas. District 6, Madeline Dugas. District 7, Madeline Dugas. District 8, John Viator. District 9, Madeline Dugas. District 10, John Viator. District 11, Madeline Dugas. District 12, John Viator. District 13, John Viator. District 14, John Viator.
Five votes for Dugas, 8 votes for Viator, and 0 votes for Broussard. Congratulations, Mr. Viator. You've been elected. All right, members, I asked for a motion to adjourn. Have a motion by Councilwoman Broussard and a second by Councilmember Pollard. Is there any discussion, members? Hearing none. Roll call. Those in favor will signify by saying aye. Those opposed? Hearing no opposition, the ayes have it, and we're now recessed. Let's take